Doug Maurice with our Ohio State beat writing brethren. Back there, Ari Wasserman, Bill Landis. I'm Doug, and we want to give credit for a very good question today at Ohio State Interviews. Our friend Steve Hellwagon from Bucknuts got in Urban Meyer's brain a little bit and found some secret info. He asked Urban Meyer if the Buckeyes were considering using J.T. Barrett as their red zone quarterback. And I respect Urban Meyer for this because I think this has happened a couple times. Basically, Urban Meyer was sort of like, well, yeah, we have thought about it. We didn't want to tell anybody, but since you asked, I'm going to be honest. And they have considered a team that's had red zone problems, as Bill wrote about. Yep. They've considered making J.T. Barrett the red zone quarterback. Interesting. We don't know if they're going to do it. They've talked about it. Since you wrote about it, Bill, should Ohio State make J.T. Barrett the red zone quarterback?
No. I think I see the logic in the idea, I guess, because Cardale Jones has not been very good in the red zone. He seems to have trouble throwing the ball specifically. It seems to come out just a little hot, I guess. I know he's got a strong arm, and it seems like he has trouble taking a little off it when he has to in tight space. But I don't think making J.T. Barrett the red zone quarterback is the answer, because I think if there's one thing we've learned about J.T. Barrett this year is that he's a different guy when he's not the starter. When he comes in the game cold, things don't look as crisp as they did last year. So I don't know if bringing J.T. Barrett in cold off the bench for what's an important possession inside the opponent's 20-yard line is the way to go.
Ari Wasserman, when the Buckeyes get to the 20-yard line, should they get rid of Cardale Jones and bring in J.T. Barrett or stay with what they're doing?
I don't like when people get cute with stuff. That's my motto.
You're so cute, though.
Don't get cute with it. I don't know. I just pick a quarterback, stick with a quarterback, and use the quarterback is the way I think. And again, like Bill, I think that I can see the logic in it. If J.T. Barrett could come off the bench and is very precise with some of those tighter throws because there's a lot less space and can get Ohio State in the end zone. But if you have a quarterback that you don't trust can score in the red zone, then that should be part of the quarterback competition. And the musical chairs of quarterbacks. And so what if Ohio State's down by 6 points? With a minute left to go at Michigan State, they're going to get inside the 20 and then bring a new quarterback in. Like, it just seems like it would just be shuffling brings too many issues. I think that you just got to find your guy, stick with the guy, and if he's struggling in the red zone, that's something he needs just to work on.
Urban Meyer sort of mentioned this, that they've done this before. It wasn't a red zone quarterback, but Tim Tebow had a role on that Florida team in 2006. Chris Leak did this, and then Tim Tebow came in and did that. And the thing that I think J.T. Barrett would bring to this is the quarterback run game, which is something I asked Urban Meyer about today. It's gone. And that's, guys have different skill sets. They chose other things that Cardale Jones does well. But inside the 20, when the deep throw is gone, and the threat of that is what helps you with Cardale Jones, when that's out of the picture, what else is your threat to complement Ezekiel Elliott? I'll tell you what, J.T. Barrett running, that's a threat. And that's a threat that would be magnified in the red zone as what are the two things. I don't know. Is J.T. Barrett going to come in and sling it around in little tight windows and make throws that Cardale Jones can't make? I don't think so. Is he going to run the zone read with Ezekiel Elliott and keep a defense guessing a little bit? Yeah, he is. So I think it would be a terrible idea to make J.T. Barrett the red zone quarterback. But it might not be a terrible idea if you could sell it. I think a lot of our answers are mental, emotional. How would Cardale handle it? How would it be with rhythm? How would it influence the team? That's obviously a factor. Like, schematically, would it work with X's and O's? I think it would work. It's could you possibly get through all the other stuff enough to make that work?
Curveball time. If Braxton Miller's shoulder was healthy, that's probably the best version of it all, right?
If he could be a real quarterback and make him the red zone quarterback?
The 15-yard line or the 20-yard line, then he doesn't have to throw a 40-yard pass. I don't know how injured his shoulder is, but if you're talking about the running game and being efficient, and Braxton Miller is the whole package. When did J.T. Barrett become the most gifted runner on the roster?
But he's not the most gifted runner. He's gifted at running the zone read and reading it, working with Ezekiel Elliott, and running that smoothly in the offense. That's a good curveball, though, but it couldn't be what Braxton has been, which is direct snap run. It would be Braxton being a real quarterback who can legitimately do either effectively. But I'm not sure that JT doesn't run the zone read better than Braxton in terms of smoothness with Ezekiel Elliott. But Braxton's a little more dynamic as a runner, obviously. So are you keeping your vote?
Yeah, it's just and you touched on it. I just harp on the mental thing. If Cardale Jones, the guy of second string, third string, gets told, hey, just move it between the 20s, and then when we get there, we'll take you out and put in the guy who's good at it. I don't see that working.
I think the one thing That wouldn't be looking over your shoulder, though. The thing that I hate most in the quarterback thing is, oh, you threw a pick, you're out.
I think it's almost worse than looking over your shoulder.
Well, but you would know. Like, say that again.
I said I think that's almost worse than looking over your shoulder.
See, I think it's not as bad because you'd know. You'd be like, okay, this is my job, this is his job. Maybe I don't like it, but after a while, I know this is the deal. And there's no surprises, and it's not like, I don't know that Cardale would be like at the 22-yard line going, oh, man, I better throw it in the end zone because if I throw a 4-yard pass, I'm out. Yeah. You know, I think if you sold the jobs, maybe it could work. And the thing is, if the red zone problems continue, I think you've got to solve that. Because you can't be in the 110s in red zone efficiency, scoring touchdowns 6 out of 16 times.
I don't understand why, if he's better at running the offense closer to the 20, why it would not be advantageous to run the zone read at the 50.
Well, because when the field shortens,
I get that. I understand the idea of it, but it's just like, to me, if the offense is more capable of scoring touchdowns inside the 20, then like just
make JT the quarterback.
Like that's my viewpoint on it.
Okay, give us what you think. Should JT Barrett be the red zone quarterback? Thanks for watching. Thanks for reading here at cleveland.com. He's Bill. He's Ari. I'm Doug, and that's everybody else.